Locked On Podcast Network presents Locked On Sports Today.
The Yankees took a lead late into game one of their wild card matchup with the Red Sox and gave it up. Also, the Dodgers handled the Reds, and the Baltimore Ravens, they might be screwed.
I'm Peter Bukowski, starting your day with the can't-miss stories and biggest debates in sports. You're Locked On Sports Today.
Searching all major sports. Found.
Let's start with the biggest story.
The New York Yankees bullpen could not get the job done in game one of the wild card series against the Red Sox. Locked On Yankees host Stacey Getsoulias and Brian McKean recap game one's misfortunes while looking ahead to an elimination later tonight.
This game could be a backbreaker, or it couldn't be. You never know. But let's go through what we were talking about before we went live, and let's try not to curse, because we were cursing before we went live because we're very angry about this game. Let's just talk about Max Fried and how awesome he was.
He was great. It's unbelievable. He was everything you could have possibly asked for in this spot. He came out, he dealt, he kept the game right where it needed to be. The Yankees gave him one run of support, which is gonna be because of the buffoonery by the manager. That's going to go by the wayside of how terrible the Yankee offense was.
Right.
But they gave him one run of support, and that was Max Fried said, all right, sounds good, and held it down. He was that good.
And wait, he was also fighting against a home plate umpire who made him throw at least 20 to 22 extra pitches. So if the
fifth inning in example is the perfect one, because he threw at least 15 more pitches than he needed to in that fifth inning.
Narvaez walked twice when he should have been struck out twice.
Yeah.
Twice. And I'm not going to blame this game on the home plate umpire, but there's a snowball effect when these things happen. So Fried having to throw those extra 20-ish pitches, Boone looks at him and says, oh yeah, well, we'll take him out here instead of letting him pitch to the 8th and 9th batter and pitch through there was no reason for him to not pitch through the 7th inning. And it got even worse when you saw what Cora did with Crochet. This is game one of a 3-game playoff series. Okay. Max Fried will not factor into anything until at least Sunday. Let him throw. What are you doing? Every year we say the same thing. They will not win anything with this manager there. We saw it in the World Series in game one. You see it in countless games. And this was example number one. There was no reason to take Max Fried out. None.
6 1/3, 4 hits, no earned, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts, 102 pitches. Thank God you saved his arm, though, because now he'll be fresh for April when he has his next start.
And he even said that he felt fine. Like he felt like he could go longer. He said
he's
that
your ace. He's your ace. That's it. Like he is your ace. You have to ride on the back of that player. Like you went out there and gave him a $200+ million contract in the offseason for him to go give you these kind of starts.
Yes.
Where was the obsession with pulling him so quickly? There wasn't even a sign that he needed to be pulled. He was dealing. He got through the 5th inning with 2 guys on, and then he gets into the 6th, gets the first guy out, and then you needed to pull him for what reason, Stacey? It made absolutely no sense.
He needed an ovation, right? He needed to come out and get an ovation.
What we do, and Max Fried, by the way, is not the guy that gives a crap about an ovation.
Of course
he doesn't care at all. But
he's not Cam Schlittler.
Also, if you're Aaron Boone and you're so obsessed with pulling him, why have him get the first out in the 6th inning and bring Weaver into not a clean inning? Right. Why not bring him in at the start of the inning so at least he has a clean inning going in? If you watched yesterday's Locked On Yankees, Locked On Red Sox crossover that I did with Gabby from Locked On Red Sox, she asked me what the key was going to be for game one and how the Yankees were going to win that game. And I said they're going to have to make Crochet throw a lot of pitches. I said that not a single Yankee batter should not named Aaron Judge should not take a pitch. Well, that wasn't the case, clearly, because
they did for a while. Like there was a stretch there where they were all taking at least 5 pitches. There were a few at bats there, and then all of a sudden,
the 6th and 7th inning game
runs.
The 6th and 7th inning came, and you gave him a 10 and a 9 pitch inning, so that wasn't really good either.
Yeah.
And she asked the other question. The other answer that I gave her is I think the Red Sox had an advantage in this series. I think the Yankees had an advantage almost everywhere in this series besides one place for sure. And the one place for sure was in the dugout. Right. It was the manager. And as this game unfolded, and I know you're going to hate me saying this, and I know a lot of Yankee fans are going to hate me saying this, but it's the truth. Alex Cora did a masterclass on managing around Aaron Boone. He ran circles around him in this game.
No, he always does. Alex Cora does this, right? Ooh, like he's I'm going to be facing Aaron Boone. I know he's going to do something stupid, and I'm going to do something smart to counteract the stupid that he just did. And what was the stupid? Taking Fried out when he did.
Yep. Two things here. So he takes Fried out, but leaves Ref Snyder on deck because he knows that Aaron Boone, as Aaron Boone apropos does, is going to go pull Max Fried after one batter. So pulls him, and then he pulls Yoshida out to get the next guy. Like, it was such a masterclass. So let's Max Fried face Duran, get Jarren Duran out. Rafaela and Sogard come up, get on from Weaver, and then Yoshida comes. Like, he knew exactly what Boone was going to do. Boone fell directly into the trap. And then what does Cora do? He puts out Masataka Yoshida, who is a pure contact hitter and doesn't strike out, knowing Boone's going to bring Luke Weaver in, who is a contact pitcher pretty much. And lo and behold, first pitch is a strike left right in the upper part of the zone, which, by the way, to a pure contact hitter, Luke or Austin Wells, you got to know better and not leave a pitch in the zone. Yeah. Yoshida was all over it, put the ball into right field, easy peasy, done, simple. And the other place where Alex Cora did a masterclass on Aaron Boone, Max Fried goes 6 1/3, 102 pitches, was dealing up until that point, and you pulled him for no reason at all. Hadn't given up a run, was dealing, pulled him. The other guy across the dugout in Garrett Crochet was dealing also. The most pitches Garrett Crochet had in a game this year was about 110, but he didn't do it often at all. You know how many pitches Garrett Crochet threw today? 117. 117. Yeah. Cora said the only, and we said this too, the only two elite options they had in their bullpen were Garrett Whitlock and Aroldis Chapman.
Who we didn't even see. We didn't even see Whitlock.
Yep. And Cora said, I'm not going to use Whitlock because if I don't have to use him, why let the Yankees see him? And he said, my pitcher is dealing. I'm going to ride the back of my ace. Yeah. And he did. And Crochet gave him 7 2/3. And once Crochet started to struggle, then he brought Chapman in.
Fried could have done the same thing. Yep. Fried could have pitched at least 7. You bring Devin Williams in, and then you bring Bednar in. And the game is completely different. But no.
Stay up to date all year on the New York Yankees by subscribing to Locked On Sports Today and Locked On Yankees on your favorite podcast app. Your Locked On Sports Today. Coming up, the Dodgers squared off against the Reds in LA. Before we get to that, the Cubs scored a postseason win of their own over the Padres. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready for the weekend with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I love using FanDuel because it fits how I want to bet in a given moment. Player props, building a same-game parlay, or even jumping in live as the action unfolds. It's quick, it's easy, and it's the best way to add a little more energy to Sunday. So are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet. The Chicago Cubs got a perfect performance from their bullpen, and it's game 1 they take over the Padres.
For the first time since 2017, the Chicago Cubs have won a postseason game. I'm Sam Olber from the Locked On Cubs podcast. Matthew Boyd did exactly what he needed to do. He battled. He gave the team a great chance. The bullpen was electric. Palencia, Pomerantz, Kittredge, Keller. Seiya Suzuki, I apologize, man. I'll take a ticket to the Seiya roller coaster all October long. He hits a long home run. Kelly goes back-to-back to give the Cubs a 2-1 lead in the 5th. A little bit of an issue with Happ in the 6th with 2 on, nobody out, not bunting. Cubs find a way to manufacture a run, though, in the 8th to get insurance with Dansby Swanson and Nico Horner. Horner was stellar with 2 hits and a sac fly. Dansby Swanson was outstanding on both sides of the ball today with that base hit, finding a way to score, and then he saved the Cubs 2 runs. The Cubs just played a really good October baseball game. Even though it's not technically October yet, I'm going to call it an October baseball game, and they win 3-1. They will go for the series win on Wednesday. We'll see what they do pitching-wise. Matt and I are about to be live in about the next 10 minutes, so catch us after the show. It's going to be a really fun day. Cubs up 1-0 on San Diego.
Tarek Skubal tossed 14 strikeouts and led the Tigers past the Guardians.
What a game, what a game. The Detroit Tigers take game 1 of the American League wild card in Cleveland over the Guardians. 2-1 the final. Tarek Skubal, are you kidding me? 7 2/3, 1 earned run, and he ties a Detroit Tigers franchise record with 14 strikeouts, 14 of them. Tigers played a little small ball, and it got a little dicey in the 9th. We're going to talk all about it on a live Locked On Tigers postcast, the postgame show right on Locked On Tigers. Make sure you join us. Detroit is up 1-0 on the Cleveland Guardians, and it's time to talk about it on a live Locked On Tigers postcast. See you there.
The Golden State Warriors made 2 big moves, signing Jonathan Kuminga to a deal and bringing Seth Curry to join Steph.
It's over, Kolsky. It's over, and honestly, it seems like this is best case scenario. We hope. The deal is 2 years, $48.5 million, 1 year guaranteed with a team option.
There's no good scenario for the Warriors where Jonathan Kuminga either doesn't play or plays poorly. That's it. It's going to be very interesting to see how much playing time he gets on a night where Jimmy and Steph and Draymond are all playing, and equally interesting to see how much playing time he gets when one of those guys is not there. And I expect obviously one will be higher than the other, but how much higher and just how little he might play when everyone else is healthy is going to be fascinating. But I also think, look, there are plenty. I can certainly imagine a circumstance where 20 minutes of JK on a healthy night and 35 minutes of JK on one of the old guys is resting night works pretty well for the regular season.
Minnesota Lynx star Nafisa Collier delivered a 4-minute statement expressing her frustrations toward the WNBA's poor officiating and lack of accountability.
First of all, I'd like to congratulate the Mercury for advancing to the finals. And I want to be clear, this conversation is not about winning or losing. It's about something much bigger. The real threat to our league isn't money, it isn't ratings, or even missed calls, or even physical play. It's the lack of accountability from the league office. Since I've been in the league, you've heard the constant concerns about officiating, and it has now reached levels of inconsistency that plague our sport and undermine the integrity in which it operates. Whether the league cares about the health of the players is one thing, but to also not care about the product we put on the floor is truly self-sabotage. Year after year, the only thing that remains consistent is a lack of accountability from our leaders. Sorry, I had a lucky in my boot, I'm good. The league has a buzzword that they've rolled out as talking points for the CBA as to why they can't pay the players what we're worth. That word is sustainability. But what's truly unsustainable is keeping a good product on the floor while allowing officials to lose control of games. Fans see it every night. Coaches, both winning and losing, point it out every night in pregame and postgame media. Yet leadership just issues fines and looks the other way. They ignore the issues that everyone inside the game is begging to be fixed. That is negligence.
The LA Dodgers took care of business in game 1 of the wild card versus the Reds. Locked On Dodgers host Travis Rogers recapped the win over Cincy.
I will say this one thing, and you all know, most of you know how I feel about Blake Trinan. Not a fan in any way, shape, or form. But that guy that came out that looked like Blake Trinan tonight sure as hell didn't pitch like the Blake Trinan we've seen of late. And Alden Gonzalez from ESPN commented on the sideline that in Seattle, that last outing where he struck out the side in a rout for the Dodgers, allegedly Trinan found an arm slot. Okay. Proved it to me tonight. I came into this one pretty hot about the decisions that Dave Roberts and the Dodger front office made for the roster. I do not, unequivocally, do not understand a variety of those moves, okay? And I don't think I've ever said that before. I've never looked at a roster and said, what? Excuse me? What? WTF? Are you kidding me? Really? Like so many times, okay? The first one, you kick Clayton Kershaw right in the sack? Seriously? I'm like, that is just brutal. I mean, I guess they could be saving him for the DS. That one, you know, okay. I know he's old, but he hasn't been ineffective like Tanner Scott, like Blake Trinan. So again, Trinan, maybe I was wrong about. Maybe he figured something out on that one outing. Okay. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because he pitched well tonight. All right. But Enriquez is garbage. You keep Enriquez around and you kick Bonda off the roster? Seriously? You have two reliable guys, Vesia and Bonda, and Sasaki now, who's a surprise addition of late. And you send both of those guys packing? I don't get it. And then you put Dean on the roster as a defensive specialist. And what did he do tonight? He comes in on a fairly routine fly ball and bounces it off of his chest, trying to dive on a ball that doesn't need to be dived for. Like, what the hell was that? I'm like, there's so many reasons that this game is not satisfying for me. Yes, we opened up a can of offense, tying a Dodger franchise record with 5 home runs. Awesome and fantastic. Love it. But this team cannot win a game with offense alone. Shohei, Teo, back and forth. Co-players of the game. Let's give it to Teo because he had one more hit and one more RBI. Although Shohei's second home run was an utter moonshot, a complete blast. 450 feet. Holy cow. That one was at 454. That was one of those Shohei, like, this is exactly where I was wanting the pitch, and you threw it there. And he just obliterated it. That came in the 6th inning. Teo, 2 home runs, 3 hits on the night, 4 RBI. So he's locked in. Nice job for him. Shohei 2 for 5, 3 RBI, 2 home runs, 2 runs scored. Mookie had a pair of hits. Freddie had 2 hits. That's fantastic. You know, you can't ask for much more from those 2. And of course, Mr. September, October, Kike Tober. I wish that was better. Like my headline, Teo Tani. Now that's brilliance right there. Teo Tani tonight. That was the offense. Kike Tober, Kike Timber doesn't work. I'll never forget. I was in a meeting once, way back, when I first started doing sports radio. It was a promotional meeting because I was the promotions director, and my program director wanted to do a promotion in October because you've heard of, like, when you do music radio, they always do Rocktober. Talk stations do Talktober. That makes sense, right? My program director wanted to do Recliner-tober. I'm like, you can't just put a word in front of Tober and make it a promotion. It's ridiculous. Recliner-tober. That's not a thing. There's no pun there. I was so mad. And I wish Kike Tober was better. It's not. It's terrible. It's just as bad as Recliner-tober. But Kike is Mr. October for the Dodgers. Apparently, because it's not October yet. But, Shohei and Teo are as well. We'll give them the one-day benefit of the doubt. 10-5 the final, by the way, over the Reds, who tried to find some rhythm, tried to rally. They did to a certain extent, but look, let's be honest, those were gifts. And I the other thing I'm beside myself about, and I really kind of just, I'm flabbergasted over, is Vesia was not good. Like, Vesia is way up on the trust tree, hence the reason he came in. I'm sure Dave Roberts was like, yeah, we'll put Vesia in and that'll be that. And then, I don't know. Maybe try and higher up this trust tree than I believe. But Yeah, that 8th inning was a disaster. They threw like 50 pitches or something. Vesia, 22. Enriquez, 18. That's 40. And Dreyer, 19.
Stay up to date all year on the LA Dodgers by subscribing to Locked On Sports Today and Locked On Dodgers on YouTube or your favorite podcast app. Coming up, Lamar Jackson might be out weeks. The season hasn't started exactly like the Baltimore Ravens would have hoped, and now it's getting worse. Locked On Ravens host Kevin Ostreicher breaks down the latest news regarding Lamar Jackson's hamstring injury, which could keep him out several weeks.
We have a Lamar Jackson injury report, and it is not a good one. I'm Kevin Ostreicher, the host of Locked On Ravens. According to Brian Wacker of the Baltimore Sun, Lamar Jackson is unlikely to play in week number 5 against the Houston Texans and could be out up to 2 to 3 weeks with a hamstring injury that he suffered in the Ravens' week 4 loss to the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, if this is true, it's devastating for the Ravens, as we know Lamar Jackson is the lifeblood of this team, and Cooper Rush will be the one to step in and perform. Now, Cooper Rush has proven he can step in and win games. He did it for Dak Prescott in Dallas over the course of his time there. But we know Lamar Jackson is Lamar Jackson for a reason, and we've seen what this Ravens team has looked like without Lamar on the field. And spoiler alert, it's not very good. Now, for the Ravens, there's an opportunity for Lamar to get some rest. He would miss a month about and come back for the Ravens week 8 game against the Bears if that timeline holds true. But missing games against the Texans and the Rams, 2 teams that are talented, that'd be a pretty tough situation for the Ravens to be in. So for more on Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, check out the Locked On Ravens podcast and subscribe on YouTube.
If you're catching this episode after hearing your favorite Locked On show, make sure to subscribe to Locked On Sports Today on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss an episode. Also, if you're a new subscriber to Locked On Sports Today, we're here for you with the biggest stories in sports every day. Coming up, are the Yankees bowing out of the postseason early at the hands of the Red Sox? So at least until tomorrow, stay locked on sports today.
Locked On Podcast Network presents Locked On Sports Today.
For more episodes of Locked On Sports Today, go to our video on demand. Click on Sports at the top of your screen. There, you'll find past episodes of Locked On Sports Today, plus other Locked On shows on demand.